Is there such a thing as a toxic culture in the locker room?
It can be. It can be, especially when you're losing and you're not around a lot of veterans and people who understand that there might come time in the season where you might lose and how to handle it. It can get toxic. And I've been in some toxic situations, but not too bad.
Let real. I never heard of this story though. What did he say? What did you say?
Stop acting like a bitch. That's it.
All right.
I mean,
I said that, man, and I got kicked off the Lakers, so I know how you feel, nigga.
I got picked.
Dwight Howard has finally opened up about what was really happening behind the scenes during his time alongside LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers, and his comments have fans re-examining one of the NBA's biggest disappointments. For years, basketball fans looked at that Lakers roster and wondered how a team loaded with so much talent could fall apart so dramatically. The lineup featured LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, Rajon Rondo, and several experienced veterans who had spent years competing at the highest level. With that much star power, many expected the Lakers to dominate the league, but instead the season unraveled in shocking fashion. Now, Dwight is suggesting that the issues inside the locker room were far more serious than most people ever realized. One of the biggest takeaways from his recent comments is his admission that something about the team's atmosphere just didn't feel right. Looking back, those remarks seem to explain many of the problems that showed up throughout the season. From opening night, the Lakers never appeared to be fully united as a group. There was constant tension. Frustration seemed to build with every game. Each defeat felt bigger than it should have, and after every loss, the players' interviews sounded carefully scripted, as if everyone was avoiding the real story unfolding behind closed doors.
So to people on the outside, when they see like a DeMarcus in the locker room mad at his teammates or something, or, saying, hey, y'all gotta step it up, they might take that as...
What makes Dwight Howard's recent remarks even more significant is the experience he brings after sharing the court with some of the NBA's biggest stars. Over the course of his career, he's played alongside legends like Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash, James Harden, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Having been part of so many elite teams, Dwight has witnessed firsthand what healthy locker room chemistry looks like, and what happens when it's missing. That's why, when a veteran with his background says something felt off within the team, fans immediately begin wondering just how serious the internal issues really were. This isn't simply another rumor spreading across social media, either. Dwight has previously spoken about moments of tension involving LeBron. In fact, he recently revealed that during one game, he challenged LeBron about getting back on defense. According to Dwight, that exchange changed the relationship between them from that point forward. As soon as fans heard that story, many connected it to the disappointing season, believing it supported long-standing suspicions that leadership problems existed behind the scenes. What's especially surprising is that, throughout the season, the Lakers continued presenting a united front during interviews and press conferences. LeBron emphasized patience, Anthony Davis pointed to injuries, while the coaching staff focused on rotations and consistency. Yet once the game started, the players' body language often suggested something entirely different. Frustration was visible on the court. Teammates frequently appeared annoyed with one another. Defensive intensity disappeared at times, and missed assignments regularly led to obvious reactions. Now, Dwight's comments seem to reinforce the idea that the atmosphere behind closed doors was never as stable as the team publicly claimed.
In a different direction. I don't think we'll ever really get a true and honest
answer.
answer.
Have you asked LeBron directly? Have you ever had a chat with him?
I haven't asked.
Here's the detail that isn't getting enough attention. Every championship caliber team experiences conflict, but successful locker rooms are built on trust. For those Lakers squads, that trust never seemed to fully take shape. From the start of the season, many players appeared uncertain about where they fit into the team's plans. Some nights, Dwight Howard played an important role and logged meaningful minutes. Other nights, he barely saw the court at all. Russell Westbrook looked out of sync with the offense almost as soon as the season began. Carmelo Anthony was mostly limited to standing on the perimeter instead of being used as the dynamic scorer he had always been. The younger role players also seemed afraid to make mistakes because every game was under an intense national spotlight. That kind of environment creates pressure quickly. And when you mix constant scrutiny, veteran players, and championship expectations, even small disagreements can grow into major problems. With that perspective, Dwight's recent comments about something feeling wrong inside the team begin to make a lot more sense. The Lakers entered the season with title aspirations, yet before long, fans and analysts were already questioning whether the group genuinely enjoyed playing together. One thing Dwight has consistently been known for is speaking honestly about locker room dynamics. That honesty has occasionally brought criticism his way, but it has also made people pay attention whenever he shares his perspective. Throughout his career, he has openly discussed moments when he felt overlooked or misunderstood by others in the league. He's also explained how public narratives often develop without people truly understanding what happens inside an NBA locker room. Because of that experience, when Dwight says the atmosphere with the Lakers didn't feel right, many fans take his word seriously, knowing he's experienced both strong team cultures and difficult ones during his NBA journey.
What I was told was that you guys didn't have an offer for me.
Oh, no, that's not true. We made an offer.
I never even knew that. He told me, well, actually, he said that you guys had an offer, and then he said you guys took the offer back and said no.
Let's be honest for a moment. Teams built around LeBron James have always faced extraordinary expectations. That's simply the reality of playing alongside one of the most recognizable athletes in basketball history. Every possession is scrutinized. Every teammate is judged against impossible standards. And every setback quickly becomes national news. While some players embrace that level of pressure, others find it much harder to handle over the course of a long season. Dwight's recent comments seem to suggest that, as the Lakers season unraveled, the constant pressure created an atmosphere that became increasingly uncomfortable inside the locker room. That's when things can spiral, because once a team begins losing its emotional connection, the problems on the court usually grow even bigger. Communication on defense starts breaking down. Trust fades during crucial moments, players become slower to rotate, and the focus shifts from winning games to avoiding blame. By the end of that season, the Lakers often appear to be dealing with exactly those kinds of issues. It wasn't only about injuries or inconsistent shooting. The team looked like a group that had lost confidence in its shared identity and no longer believed in the vision they started the season with.
I ain't ruined it. You did ruin it.
I got my own puppet right at home right now. My dog messed it up, but I still got a puppet at the house, and I'm glad I ruined it because that one ain't right. They pissed our whole team off, and I'm glad we went out there and we showed LeBron and the Cavs that hell no, the puppet gotta go.
Many fans have pointed to Russell Westbrook as the biggest reason the Lakers season fell apart, but Dwight Howard's recent remarks suggest the issues extended far beyond any one player. Westbrook became the easiest target because his mistakes happened in full view, making them impossible to ignore. Team chemistry, however, is much harder to identify from the outside. Coaches rarely acknowledge those problems publicly. Superstar players often avoid discussing them, and front offices certainly prefer to keep them behind closed doors. But once enough time passes, former players are usually more willing to speak openly about what really happened. Another reason Dwight's comments have sparked so much discussion is the wide range of opinions people have about playing alongside LeBron James. Some former teammates praise his elite basketball IQ, leadership, preparation, and ability to raise the level of everyone around him. Others quietly mention how mentally demanding it can be to compete in an environment where anything short of a championship is viewed as failure. Dwight's perspective appears to fall somewhere between those two viewpoints. Rather than criticizing LeBron personally, he seems to be describing a team environment that gradually became emotionally exhausting. Anyone who closely followed that Lakers season could sense that tension from game to game. Each defeat felt more discouraging than the last. Every timeout looked tense, and post-game interviews often sounded carefully measured instead of completely genuine. Compare that atmosphere to the Lakers' 2020 championship team inside the Orlando bubble. That group displayed strong chemistry, celebrated each other's success, and played with a shared purpose on both ends of the floor. Dwight was an important contributor because everyone embraced the role they were given. There was trust, sacrifice, and a clear commitment to the team's goals. During the following seasons, however, that same unity seemed to disappear. Veteran players competed for playing time. Younger contributors struggled to find consistency. Injuries constantly forced lineup changes, and the pressure of chasing another title with an aging core created growing frustration. In that context, Dwight saying that something felt off almost perfectly summarizes the mood surrounding that season. Another factor worth considering is how much Dwight Howard's public image has changed over the years. Earlier in his career, he was often criticized for smiling too much, joking around, or not appearing serious enough. Later, some questioned whether he was difficult to play with inside the locker room. For years, Dwight defended himself against those narratives. Today, fans see a more reflective and composed version of him, which is one reason his recent comments have received so much attention. His story about confronting LeBron over defensive effort surprised many people because role players rarely admit to challenging a franchise superstar so directly. According to Dwight, that conversation changed the dynamic between them, showing just how delicate relationships can become on veteran super teams. One lesson from all of this is that talent alone never guarantees chemistry. Many young fans assume stacking stars automatically creates a championship team, but NBA history has repeatedly shown otherwise. Some of the league's most talented rosters have fallen short because the personalities never fully came together. Basketball depends as much on trust as it does on skill. Once teammates begin losing confidence in one another, even elite talent cannot always overcome those problems. The Lakers became one of the clearest examples of that reality in recent years. Looking back, the warning signs were visible throughout that season. Lakers fans grew frustrated early, constantly questioning rotations and lineup decisions. Videos of LeBron showing frustration on the bench regularly spread across social media. Analysts debated whether the players still believed in head coach Frank Vogel, while reports suggested several players remained uncertain about their responsibilities from one game to the next. Piece by piece, those issues piled up until the season completely unraveled. Dwight's latest comments seemed to reinforce what many fans had suspected all along, that the tension everyone sensed from the outside was very real. The pressure of playing on a LeBron-led team is unlike almost anything else in basketball. Finishing second is often viewed as disappointment. An early playoff exit is treated as failure, and missing the postseason becomes a lasting stain on everyone involved. Ironically, Dwight thrived during the 2020 championship run because he fully accepted his responsibilities. He focused on defense, rebounding, energy, and doing whatever the team needed to win. Later versions of the roster never seemed to find that same balance, as conflicting expectations and changing roles made it harder to build the same chemistry. Now fans continue debating what Dwight truly meant when he said something felt off. Was he referring to leadership, chemistry, trust, personalities, or something else entirely? Most likely, it was a combination of many different factors, because locker room problems rarely come from a single issue. They usually grow over time through frustration, miscommunication, mounting pressure, and repeated disappointment.